Way back when in high school, I participated in competition speech. It was by far my favorite activity. I competed in original oratory, which was persuasive speaking. Each year, I would pick a topic about something I felt passionate about, spend months researching, and then spend 8 minutes around attempting to convince people that my idea was valid. In my senior year, I focused on the importance of laughter and why we should all laugh more often. Believe it or not, this is still an important topic even 20 years later. Studies have shown that the number of times that we laugh significantly decreases as we age. The average 4-year-old laughs up to 400 times a day. And the average 40-year-old, around 15, but as low as 4. That's it. It's a huge bummer that adults don't laugh more, as those same studies that measure how often we laugh talk about the health benefits that come from laughter. Laughter helps reduce stress, soothe tension, stimulate our organs, improve our immune systems, relieve pain, and improve our moods. Well, those all sound like reason enough to add a few doses of laughter to our days, right? A reading from Psalm 126. When the Lord restored the fortunes of Zion, we were like those who dream. Then our mouth was filled with laughter, and our tongue with shouts of joy. Then it was said among the nations, "The Lord has done great things for them." The Lord has done great things for us, and we rejoiced. Restore our fortunes, O Lord, like the watercourses in the Negeb. May those who sow in tears reap with shouts of joy. Those who go out weeping, bearing the seed for sowing, shall come home with shouts of joy, carrying their sheaves. Our focus text for today is a psalm of ascent. Psalms of ascent are also known as pilgrim psalms, psalms that were sung while people were traveling to Jerusalem for major Jewish festivals. They were meant to help encourage people on their journey, which was often filled with challenging terrain to navigate on foot. Now in the military, when we go on marches or group runs, we will often call out a cadence, which is a rhythmic chant or song, call and response, that helps keep you on a steady pace, build morale, and foster what we call esprit de corps, or shared morale, enthusiasm, and devotion to build unit cohesion. In essence, it helps us to build up as a team, and it makes the march or run suck a little less. I would imagine that the Psalms of Ascent were kind of like that. A group of 15 different songs written as a way to offer guidance, encouragement, and purpose as pilgrims ascended up the hills to get to Jerusalem. Yet we have that in other things, in music that pumps us up, like the Minnesota Vikings Skol chant, or school fight songs, if your school has one, or national songs. These psalms also were meant to fire up the pilgrims on their trek to Jerusalem. Now the psalmist wrote in Psalm 126, "When the Lord restored the fortunes of Zion, we were like those who dream. Then our mouth was filled with laughter, and our tongue with shouts of joy." Imagine for a moment what life would look like with your mouth filled with laughter and your tongue filled with shouts of joy. If you were like a 4-year-old laughing 300 to 400 times a day. Yeah, a few weeks ago, my family was on our way home from a family wedding in Milwaukee. A trip that on a good day would take about 6 hours was stretching into its 8th hour. It was still 2 hours to go. We were stopped at a gas station somewhere in Wisconsin, and I just wanted to go home. And I was bringing my 3-year-old back to the vehicle when all of a sudden he took off running toward the grass of the ditch that we were parked near. It was to look at a plant, a type of grass that I hadn't seen in years, not since when I lived out in the country when I was a child. And he found it interesting. The joy that he had in stroking the soft grass, the giggle as it brushed against his face. It made me stop in my tracks and ask myself, when did I lose that pure joy and abandon in something as simple as a different type of grass in the field? And how can I feel that again? I wonder how many of us have felt similarly. How many of us feel like we don't have time for those small things that bring joy, or we've just simply forgotten about them? Sometimes too, we feel like we can't laugh because of sorrow and grief, because of guilt, because we think we've outgrown it, because we think it's not appropriate or professional. Now, there are certainly times when laughter is not the most socially acceptable or kind response to something, especially if we're mocking someone cruelly. And even if we're just lightly teasing or making fun of someone in jest, they may not find the humor in the situation or our laughter. But that doesn't mean that laughter in itself is bad. Like anything, there's a time and place. And sometimes we laugh because a situation is so ridiculous that it's either laugh or cry, sometimes both. Sometimes we laugh in inappropriate situations out of nervousness or being uncomfortable. And sometimes, many times, we just don't laugh at all. A life devoid of laughter, though, is a life that's devoid of joy. A life without joy seems bleak and dark, like the land when there's constant overcast, bathed in gray. And maybe that's where you find yourself right now, bathed in the gray and dark of overcast clouds, praying that the sunshine will break through. The psalmist continues in Psalm 126 with a request to God. They sing, "Restore our fortunes, O Lord. May those who sow in tears reap with shouts of joy. Those who go out weeping, bearing the seeds for sowing, shall come home with shouts of joy, carrying their sheaves." It's a request, a plea. Please help us when we're sad, when we mourn, when we sorrow, when we struggle, when we feel like we can't laugh. Help us feel joy. Help us find joy amidst sorrow and sadness. Help us not feel guilty about laughing, about finding joy. Help that sunshine break through the overcast clouds and bathe us in light, in warmth. In the Gospel of John, Jesus says at the end of chapter 16, during his farewell discourse to the disciples, "Very truly I tell you, you will weep and mourn, but the world will rejoice. You will have pain, but your pain will turn to joy." When a mother is in labor, she has pain because her hour has come. But when her child is born, she no longer remembers the anguish because of the joy of having brought a human being into the world. So you have pain now, but I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice, and no one will take your joy from you. Just as the psalmist wrote in Psalm 126, that those who sow in tears will reap with shouts of joy, Jesus reminded his disciples that though they would weep and mourn and have pain, their pain would turn to joy. It's a promise to us that no matter what the world gives or brings us, joy will come. Joy will come at the resurrection, and joy also comes in the morning. In the morning after the darkness of night. In the morning after rest. Joy comes and no one will take our joy from us. That is God's promise to us. So give yourself permission to laugh, to find joy in things in life, both big and small. Allow yourself to be like a child, laughing with joy and abandon, without the heaviness of expectation and adulthood holding you back. Laugh so that you may feel God's presence. Laugh to dispel the darkness and gloom. You may be surprised with how that laughter connects you to others and connects you with God. May your joy be made complete through the one who has gifted us with laughter, that your weeping may turn to shouts of joy. Amen. A couple of reflection questions for you to go deeper into the message this week. The first is, how often do you laugh throughout the day? Keep track sometime. The second, how might laughter for you help you find joy in life and connect you with God?